Alrighty, Sunday Daily means we've got some special twists. University has victorified and include shoppers. So university is also worth 1 point of everything else. And shoppers, start of your turn +1 buy. That can matter. Shaman, for example, is a good opener that costs 2. Could pick up 2 of these here. See what ends up happening. What else is going on first? Draw, you got Wild Hunt, Scrying Pool, Apprentice, and Alchemist. For villages, there's Contract and University, Trashing, Forager, Apprentice, Shaman, and plus buy, you got Forager and Herbalist, plus the built-in plus buy that's coming with this kingdom. The landscapes. Crafters Guild. There's not a lot of cheap cards you want to gain here, but it could be an easy way to pick up a potion. Where are the favors coming from? Okay, never mind. So the source of favors in this kingdom is contract, which is the liaison. So you'd first have to get 5 and play that to get second favor so you can trigger Crafters Guild. And that seems a little bit slow to me. I can imagine getting contract at some point, but uh doesn't seem all that great. Friendly. Start of your kind of phase, you may discard a friendly card to gain a friendly card. Which pile does that go on? Scrying pool. Not a bad target for that. A lot of times you take a bunch of scrying pools to make sure you find one in your starting hand, but then you draw your deck with just playing a few of them and have some left over. You can print an additional one. Uh, and Way of the Camel, probably not the most important thing in the world. Okay. So I think the most relevant card in this kingdom is Shaman, because this bottom text effect makes trashing extra important because you're getting hit with a constant sea of junk. Uh, It also nerfs Apprentice a bit. Apprentice is usually pretty happy to trash an expensive card for a burst of draw, but Shaman means if you do that, your opponent will get the card. Something to keep in mind. Other than that, I think Scrying Pool looks decently good. Maybe Alchemist, maybe University. I think Potion's going to be worth getting. I'm not exactly sure what the payload's going to end up being. Maybe you play some actions away the camel and then play with some golds. I think. How do you open? Turn 1 Potion wouldn't be unreasonable to like Potion, Shaman sense okay. But I was just saying, I think it's important to stay on top of the trashing. So I think I prefer just opening with like 3 trashers, 2 shamans, and a forager. There's 3 shamans. Forager versus shaman. Forager is actually not going to be worth 1 very easily because even if you trash a copper, it's going to leave the trash next turn. So there might be situations where you trash an estate with forager and it just makes 0. So shaman has the upside of being potentially more money, actually in some realistic scenarios here. And also it's optional in case they collide. Like you can play both shamans, whereas Forager you can only play it if you're willing to trash because the trashing is mandatory. Forager has plus buy as an upside, which doesn't matter too much here because there's already plus buy in the kingdom built in. The other upside of Forager is like potentially it's not that easy to see a Forager's making more than 1 money in a kingdom where stuff's constantly coming back out of the trash. So I think I'm just gonna say 3 shamans. Final answer. I have to find at least 1 on turn 3. The bot went with 2 shamans and a forager, which I think is ever so slightly worse, but not a big deal. Take that potion now. The real important thing with shaman is you're playing at least 1 per turn in the early turns. Because any turn you trash a card, your opponent is getting a junk card, which is like an attack of sorts. Uh, Trashing 2 cards often less important because if you trash 2, your opponent gets 1 junk, and then you get the second junk back. Uh, so I'm happy to see at least 1 shaman in each hand. 3, I don't know. Maybe just a silver? At the moment, I just want to play Shaman a bunch, buy few of these potion costs. It could be a forager or a second shaman, or a 4th shaman. I think I'm just gonna take a silver.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, what's the first potion cost card that I want? Probably Scrying Pool, actually. I was gonna say University, it's a gainer and stuff worth gaining, but Scrying Pool is actually kind of a gainer in this kingdom too. You take the early Scrying Pool. Scrying Pool is usually not that great early because your deck is not as full of actions and more full of junk. You could just not play the Scrying Pool and discard it to friendly to get a bunch more Scrying Pools. And Scrying Pool is probably better than any of the 5 cost cards. I think I want to say Scrying Pool is the first 5. Sorry, not first 5.
Oh,
First hard costing potion.
oh,
Huh. Don't know what I'm doing here on 4. What about a second potion? It'd be a little bit sad if they collide, but I really value the potion cost cards a lot, I think. Take it.
oh, oh,
All right. 5. I don't think I care about contract that much. You don't need the village effect. The village effect is also fairly weak because you're setting aside a card and not playing it next turn. I don't think I care about these cheap cards enough to really want the favor all that badly. So maybe just Wild Hunter Apprentice. This final answer. I'll take a university now and a scrying pool.
oh, oh,
Scrying pool. Or third technically.
oh,
I'm gonna play this one. Okay, that did not pan out
oh,
quite so well. Uh Really nothing that's jumping out to me. It's all that useful at this stage. Should I just take Humble Castle already? Seems a little bit early. Another silver. Yeah. I guess maybe at some point I'll want a third buy. It's like a forger.
oh,
Ooh, a curse. How did that get in your deck? What am I missing? How did Harbot get a curse? Did you buy that? I wish the log worked. I'm very confused why there's a curse in the trash right now. Maybe there's something obvious that I'm just missing. I don't get it.
oh,
This is the last scrying pool in my deck before I trigger a shuffle. So if I want another one, I gotta stop here. It's probably worth it. Go to the university. And another scrying pool.
oh,
Maybe I should have thought about that a little bit harder. I'm now noticing the bottom of my deck was chock full of actions. Maybe playing that scrying pool was worth it. Okay. Don't actually have any junk in hand to trash for the apprentice. The natural play would just be to trash the silver because I don't value it very much and it draws me a bunch of cards. Give the bot a silver. I think that's fine and not a big deal. Wild Hunt.
oh,
Trash some
oh,
coppers. More university. Yeah, hard button out of the silver. Fair enough. Okay.
oh,
Trash a copper. Play the forager. Trash another
oh,
copper. I can still afford 2 potion things. And wild hunts, I suppose. Ah, University scrying pool. I really don't have an exact plan here. This is very much clicking whatever seems good at the moment.
Oh,
Think I'm ahead though. Seems like I'm ahead. This hand seems a little awkward. I think I'm gonna trash the university. I would rather not dud. This draws me 4 cards, and universities, the cost of potion, does not cost less than 6. Which means the bot won't be able to claim. God dang it. So the bot won't be able to get the university back out of the trash with the shaman effect. Neither will I, it's just lost, but it's no big deal. I've
oh,
unfortunately still managed to dud, which is a little bit of a bummer. Just exile gold for future use. I'll take a contract, I guess.
oh,
There's my poor university. Sacrifice was in vain. Uh, like that many wild hunts. Forger, I guess. Friendly, you can only use once per turn. You may discard uh, a friendly card. The word A is being hidden a little bit there. Uh, it, there are what do you call them? There. Well, maybe I'm mixing up. If you could use it more than once, it would say something to that effect. Like there are allies that say like repeat as desired, for example. Um, if you had like 4 favors, you still only get 1 2 cost card or 1 4 cost card per turn. Something like Cave Dwellers says like discard a card, draw a card, repeat however much you want. If it doesn't say that, you can only do it once. Anyways, that just means I need to keep at least 1 scrying pool in my hand at the end of the turn. Okay. Cash the state. And it looks like I will be able to draw everything just fine.
oh, oh,
Alright. Now my deck's getting places.
oh,
I'll take those points. Set aside the wild hunt. Actually, do I even want to set it aside? The chances I dud at this stage are essentially 0, right? My deck is almost devoid of junk. I find a scrying pool, my turn will kick off. The downside of doing this is I don't get to play the contract next turn. Slightly reduce my payload. I think I'm just not going to bother. If I dud, I'll look foolish, but I'm not going to bother. I'll go ahead and take Humble Castle. Uh, Shoppers. Gain from trash. I guess I'll take that. Crafter's Guild. I don't want to put anything on top here. I actually am at some risk of dudding with just the 1 scrying pool in hand. The wild hunts aren't helpful unless I find a village. And unfortunately, there's no village I can top deck here. So I'm not going to do that. Right, that's a good sign. Looks like we're fine. Draw all the cards. This turn, oops, didn't mean to click that yet. This turn I think is probably gonna be a good turn to just get a bunch of gold and uh or exile a bunch of golds and buy a gold. Is what I was trying to say. Take a small castle. Don't mind if I do. Uh, Actually, that's a lovely turn for Haunted Castle to be revealed because I was just contemplating buying a gold and would not mind taking a shortcut. Okay, so could put a potion in the trash to make a little extra money off of these foragers. That doesn't make a huge difference either way. Um, Take some more shamans. probably such thing as too many shamans. They're not that much of an impediment with rank pool in the deck, but obviously if they're in the starting hand that could cause some problems. I think I don't want to pop the small castle because then it gives the bot the small castle. It'll just pick it right back up out of the trash. So let's just use that to gain some golds. Do, 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 do.
Oh.
Nope, trash. Do I want to trash the potion? Makes me ever so slightly more money. I think the answer is yes. It's just a way to play that second forager.
Oh. 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 Oh.
And do one more of those. Set aside a scrying pool means I won't be dud. Gain a million golds. And what else am I buying? Opulent Castle will be decent. I've got a lot of victory cards I can discard. It might be the best answer. Could also be like another contract plus a potion cost thing. I think I'm just gonna take the castle. How are piles looking like? This is probably gonna pilot this turn on Wild Hunt and Shaman. Or no, Forager and Shaman's even easier. Yeah, the bot is assisting in its own suicide. I'll go ahead and take a free Forager and a free Forager. There's half my deck. The scrambles have gotten a little bit worse now that I shoved the deck full of golds, but still overdrawing just fine. Forager. Forager. Take some wild hunts. Why not? Okay. Um, best way to do this. An opulent castle. Discard a bunch. Draw it all. Pop a small castle. Maybe. Hmm. Would I have made more money if I popped the small castle first, then drew all that, and discarded all the estates to opulent castle? Might have been slightly inefficient there.
Oh. Oh.
Also, speaking of which, I got this many foragers. I should just put some treasures in the trash. There's already a silver or already a potion in the trash, so that doesn't help. Put a gold in the trash though. I think I value the humble castle.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh.
Oh, you know what I could have done here?
Oh.
I
Oh.
totally missed that. I could have discarded the universities to opulent castle because they're victory cards. I would have made a little bit extra money
Oh.
doing that. Uh, did
Oh.
not notice. I don't know. Trash that. That. Trash that. The gold. Alrighty, let's pile the castles and the wild hunts and nothing else to do with these last three buys. I did this in a slightly better order. I could have afforded province, duchy. Alas. For example, if I trashed another shaman instead of another gold there, I'd have had the one extra money needed. But we can settle for 6 piles, I suppose. Uh, what happened with the bot? The bot has a few of the potion cards. Did not seem to prioritize it. Also has a ton of coppers, which makes me think it's undervalued thinning. But it opened with three trashers, if I'm not mistaken. How did it get so far behind on junk? So yeah, buys two shamans, that makes sense. Buys a forager, I think a slight misplay, but like not a noticeable one. A fourth trasher, okay, all of that seems fine. It does manage to trash turn. Where does this go so off the rails? It finds the shaman turn four. Everything's looking totally fine so far. Takes a potion. I'm not seeing what happened here. Okay, I think we've identified the problem. Things were going fine through turn five, and then it bought a curse. Uh, can't explain that. Don't, don't know what happened here. Heartbot had a little bit of a psychotic break. And keeps clicking forward. This is too many trashers. They're at some point just gonna start butting heads with each other. Uh, it's overdosing on the foragers a little bit there. Alchemist, I think, is not the best. I don't think I ever got an alchemist. Yeah, I think that's the worst of the three potion cards here. Uh, buys another forge. Okay, it it bought a curse and then just kept buying. Yeah, okay. So things happened here that should not have happened. The first five turns I thought looked totally fine for the bot, and then we took a hard right turn into nonsense land.